Good morning. It is a very overcast day. I did not realize it was going to rain today. I'm kind of bummed, but it is what it is, and it's making everything green. Here, let me show you the other side here. Definitely getting kind of yucky. So I hustled outside to get the animals fed while it was still a little bit dry, and it's supposed to rain for like the next 3 days, but it's getting the ground nice and soaked. Our pond will be full. It's just a frog pond, it's not a fish pond. But you know, everything has a purpose. These stormier times, they really do. I'm a little bummed because I was hoping to do a meditation, but I think this must mean I have a little more preparation to do for the meditation, so that's okay. So hopefully in a few days, when it's not going to be raining in the morning, I can do a meditation with you all that I'm really looking forward to. But I know it's going to be longer, and I don't want to feel rushed like I'm fighting the clock on the rain, and I don't want to be doing a meditation out in the rain. Sounds okay maybe by myself, but there was already lightning and stuff, and I'm kind of by metal poles where I like to sit, so I'm sure you understand. I wanted to talk this morning. I've spoken about this before, but it came up yesterday, about triggering people. When you start to speak your truth, be in your truth, you are going to trigger the crap out of people, and their cognitive dissonance is going to kick in. And cognitive dissonance is, I would say, the ego's way of trying to protect a person from their value set, their beliefs, all of their programming that they've held their entire lifetime, and it's trying to maintain that normal. And so, you know, when cognitive dissonance kicks in, it's a really hard thing to overcome, because you have to see past all of the programming and realize, oh my gosh, I might have been lied to. Oh my gosh, that might not be the truth. Oh my gosh, there's this whole other viewpoint. And it's a very hard moment to get past that cognitive dissonance. And we did it with vaccines with our second, and I can tell you, we triggered everybody around us. But here I had a kid that was injured. I have a doctor telling me that if we had continued, that we would have lost her. When I asked for clarification if that meant death or autism, she just kind of went, and so when you face something like that, you're sorry that you trigger people, but in a way you kind of hope you do, because you hope that maybe that awakens them. But then now I know that that's not necessarily my purpose to trigger somebody into awakening, but I can still share my belief. And so, you know, sharing what I think and feel and what resonates in my heart, as far as God, source, the universe, my views on the Bible and stuff like that. I know that's going to trigger a lot of people, because there's programming and conditioning around those things. There's programming around religion. There's programming around God in general, that God can be angry or sad or mad. And to me, that really limits God. Why would we put human emotions on a deity? And so, but that triggers people. And if you say to someone, uh, you know, you can source the Bible, for example, but I don't consider that an ultimate power. Like, it's not this isn't going to trump whatever I'm saying, because what I'm saying is from my heart, and I'm connected to source, I'm connected to God. That's going to trigger people. It's going to trigger the crap out of them. And there's going to be some people that take that and they pause, and they might say, well, what, how did you reach that conclusion and everything? And there's a lot of things. I'm a history major, so for example, I would say, the fact that a group of guys got together in Constantinople and decided, I think that's where it was, sorry, it's still early, but and decided what books were going to be in the Bible. That's who gave them what authority. Now you could say they're inspired by God. Maybe I'm inspired by God. What's the difference? Is the only difference it's now modern times and that wasn't modern times? Make it make sense. I think there's always an element of control. There's always, even people in Yeshua's time, that, he came and he wasn't exactly what people wanted. That they were expecting an actual king, and he didn't fulfill that role. He fulfilled his own purpose and how he saw it. And that was hard then, and it's hard now. Even if I took every book in the Bible and I said, okay, let's say it's a not oracle, channeling. Let's say it's a channeling. That's fine. That's absolutely could be true, or it could be absolutely written by people who were around Yeshua too, and actual letters at the time. Awesome. It's still filtered through that person's viewpoint. If I do channeling, it's filtered through my viewpoint. It's filtered through my experiences, my beliefs. That's why we can't go externally. We have to go within. And really, you can't convince or save anyone but you. That's like saying I'm going to go out and change the world by changing everyone around me. You can't control other people around you. Period. Oh my gosh, be a parent for 5 minutes. You will find out you cannot control these little people. You could control them through fear, through manipulation maybe, but you can't actually control another person. They're their own sovereign being. The only person in this universe you can control is you. Period. You control your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your reactions, your triggers. You choose whether you dig deeper on triggers, programming, etc. That is a hard thing to come to terms with. But can you come to terms with it? You cannot control what anybody else thinks, feels, etc. The only way I change the world is by changing me, my patterns, my programming, my viewpoints, to the person that I actually am, who has always been here. I just had to sift through all of that. And when I am in alignment, when I am sharing my truth, and I love sharing ideas, but if somebody comes into a situation or conversation thinking that they're going to save me, then they already have a directive. They've already been triggered. You're not going to save me because I've already saved myself. That's a trigger. As humans, we are trained to constantly look outside ourselves for validation, for confirmation. It's scary to think that all the answers are right here. They're not outside of us. But they are right here. We just need to find ourselves worthy enough to believe that. So as you're going on this journey and you're triggering people, because you're going to, and if you're doing something like this, where you're putting your philosophy and what you've learned out there to possibly help others, I don't think just because the truth is here doesn't mean we can't help each other and support each other. And I can say, this is what helped me. By questioning this helped me. I'm alone and isolated in my rural town, but when I am with other people online that think and feel this way, we're not trying to teach each other, we're trying to help each other. There's a difference. The teacher is here. If we're all students and we're all helping each other, we're together here. So as I love myself through making these videos, and I'm loving the people that are triggered too, but I would always ask anybody that's feeling triggered, what does your heart say? And has your heart been through deprogramming? If you don't think that your heart is influenced by all of the programming that you've had since birth, you'd be wrong. Most of us are programmed to go to college, get a job, work as, for the rest of your life, and then go to retirement, enjoy life for a few years, and then die. No, thank you. But breaking out of that pattern, teaching my children to break out of that pattern is difficult. But I'm trying. We all are laced with programming, and we're all going to spend the rest of our lives trying to break free from it. That's part of being here. But we can get closer and closer. When you are feeling triggered, if you're feeling triggered by something I say or somebody else says, dig deep into it. Ask yourself why you're feeling triggered. Is it because somebody told you you should? If you need to know should, go back and watch the should video. Should video is programming. If somebody's telling you you should do something, you are being programmed to be told what to do, period. if you're around somebody because you are speaking your truth and you are triggering them, love them. That doesn't mean you can't have a boundary line. That doesn't mean you can't say, hey, look, I get it. You're triggered. This is kind of hard. And maybe you're not ready to do this, and that's okay. But I'm not going to let you talk to me like that. I'm not going to do whatever you need to do too for you. But you can still love somebody and be stepping away. It doesn't mean we have to hate somebody. We can still love them through it. Because that's probably what they need. Love, compassion, and kindness. And we need to have it for ourselves, because as we're speaking our truth, we're going to trigger people. It's going to happen. So can we love them, have compassion and kindness for them, and can we have that for ourselves? Because it's isolating sometimes to speak your truth. And we need to teach our children that too. Because if you're teaching your children how to speak their truth, then they're going to be isolated. I can remember my oldest daughter, she believes, I think still believes, but believed at least at the time in fairies. And some boys were making fun of her, and they came from a very religious family. And they were like, those are imaginary, only little kids believe in them and everything. And it really bothered her. And she has been very non-religious since she was a small child. And she goes, well, you believe in some big guy in the sky. What's the difference? Oh, that triggered them. We didn't go back to that homeschool group. But as a mom, she was speaking her truth. She wasn't wrong. She maybe could have handled it a little more delicately. But sometimes why? They weren't being nice. The only difference now is I would still tell her love them anyway. Love herself too for speaking her truth. For being brave enough to do that. I don't know how old she was. She was only like 9 maybe? 8 or 9? So make sure if you have kids, you're teaching your kids these skills too the best that you can, because they're still tiny people and they're going to be triggered, and you can't control them just like you can't control anybody else, but you can try to love them and influence them. And when something comes up, I try to tell, like we were discussing at dinner about how I had triggered somebody, and that was our conversation. And I'm getting rained on, so that must be my cue to stop. I hope you have a great day, everybody. I hope this gives you food for thought on something, and hope to see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be raining. Have a great day.